Get on the floor! Do it now!
The Special Constabulary is the nation's volunteer police force.
Do you know the gent?
What's your speed?
It's made up of over 20,000 members of the public
Oh, he's gone down there.
who give their time to fight crime in their communities.
Out! Get out of the car! Get out of the car!
Specials combine their day jobs
Stage, please.
and home lives
Here's a good boy.
with being serving police officers on the front line. Coming up, Gary joins a plainclothes operation to hunt down a burglar.
Hello, it's the police. Can you come to the door, please?
Susan deals with an unlikely shoplifter.
I'd never come across a shoplifter before who was a pensioner.
And Temper's afraid as Harvey investigates an alleged assault.
How about you? Why don't you just shut up? How about you?
Cool.
Tonight, Acting Special Inspector Harvey Barker and Special Sergeant Andrew Lawrence are on patrol in Ely Town Centre, a typically quiet neighbourhood, except that is on a Friday night.
This street is where the majority of the trouble is locally, because you've got the two clubs which open and close within short succession of each other, and then you've got a kebab shop up here and a taxi rank, which is pretty much a recipe for disaster at the best of times. So there's usually a fight between the kebab shop and the taxi rank. It can get quite explosive, but usually just a bit of presence and you can get rid of them, get them on their way.
Lots of talking, little fighting unless we have to.
After working with each other for over 2 years, the officers have developed a very special bond.
Our backup's just arrived.
That's the flying squad. Seriously, lads, we haven't got anything.
The banter is really important. If you didn't have that, if you didn't have that element of camaraderie and banter, everything would be twice as long and twice as boring. I love working with Andrew. He's a cracking bloke. He's just fantastic. Great sense of humour. He's old and past it now, obviously, but apart from that, he's fantastic.
I'll need to empty my bag soon.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry, Dad.
I suppose we could go down Jubilee Gardens.
You old romantic. Shh. You don't take me out for meals anymore. You used to. You take me for granted.
For his day job, Harvey is an IT support consultant.
We have a joke in the office. We say things like, well, if something doesn't get done right or something goes wrong, no one's going to die. When you're a special, you don't quite know what's going to happen.
He became a special 4 years ago and has worked his way up to acting special inspector.
It's something I like doing. I like helping people. And if there's someone there who needs us and there aren't a number of people to do it, there aren't the people, well, you know, someone has to go. If not me, who?
Back on the beat, Harvey and Andrew have received a call about a disturbance nearby.
Echo November 9-1, we're in the area on foot. Do you want us to go as well?
We had a call to say that a male had been assaulted in his house at his front door. So we were around the corner on foot, so we just legged it straight to the property.
When they arrive, officers are already on the scene and speaking to the injured man.
As we arrived, I looked at the front door. I could see a male covered in blood. The victim knew his assailant and named them.
The injured man gives the officers the name of the person who allegedly assaulted him.
Ricky, we'll go off to do an area search unless you need us.
I put it out over the airwave, and one of my colleagues immediately said, "Oh, I know who that is, I know where he hangs out." So we were around the corner. So as soon as we knew roughly where he went, it was just a quick process to just get around the corner and close on the area as quickly as possible.
If it's the person we think it is, they tend to congregate around here at the back of the playing field. So now it's going to go in now. Let's see if we can get some other officers down here, maybe contain it. But we'll just have a look at the moment, see what's down here. Just have a look.
We saw three figures we immediately thought were male, so we shouted for them to stop. And they took off. There were three of them, so in the back of my mind already, I'm thinking, OK, we're outnumbered. I did actually call for backup on that particular occasion. We closed with them, got hands on them as quickly as possible, and then tried to identify them.
All right, guys, hands out your pockets, please, where we can see them.
Harvey and Andrew apprehend three young men.
Let's just do this the simple way.
That's what I'm doing.
do every day. But
Backup is on its way, but for now, the Specials are alone and need to keep control of the situation.
Take your hands out of your pockets, mate. Make me nervous, don't do that. Take your hands out of your pockets.
Remaining calm and collected, Harvey and Andrew take their details.
Cheers, bro. What's your name?
One of them is the suspect named by the injured man at the house.
And there's this communication that passes between you and your partner. You look at each other and you think, yeah, this is the guy we're after.
Backup arrives as one man is released.
How come he gets to go?
And the Specials are quick to secure the other two suspects.
Just get the cuffs on quick. Just detain them, stop them from legging it or causing us any grief.
Nice one.
One of the suspects was definitely what you might say not chuffed.
Wait, here's the door lock. Calm down and we'll get it sorted. Why don't you just shut up?
Cool. He was not a happy bunny. He was swearing and being quite aggressive. And that's quite often a distraction in the back of your mind. If they're kicking off, it's because they've sometimes got something to hide, or sometimes it's because they're trying to throw you off the scent.
Just calm it down.
These handcuffs are going to be on forever, mate, aren't
And
they?
then what you can do?
Nothing. I'm not threatening. I'm going to say these handcuffs are going to be on forever.
Threatening or not, the suspects still have to be searched.
Loving me. I'm gay.
And being searched causes one of the suspects to verbally abuse the Specials even more. As a Special, Harvey knows he must carefully read the situation to make the correct judgment call.
You try and calm them down first. You try and assess the situation. They'll peak at some point, and then it's to try and assess when the peak is and then wait till they've peaked, and then they'll naturally calm down. You never let someone else get the better of you, and you never let someone draw you out. That's just not the way it works.
Rob, not like you robbed me up. You go great, didn't you? Don't you reckon?
Harvey knows the worst thing he could do is take the bait and lose his temper.
I'm big enough and ugly enough to look after myself. They can throw all the abuse at me they like, but it just doesn't bother me.
You were definitely bullied at school, weren't you? Did they beat you silly?
When I was a kid, I never ever would have backchatted a police officer. I'd have got a clip round the ear, and I think we've really, really lost that.
One of the suspects, who's been named by the injured man in the house, starts talking about what's been going on.
You can punch me first. See them people over there? I'm not going to do nothing. See them people over there?
Okay.
There are about 20 people over there. See, every single one of them say you punch me first. He rang me up. He rang me up.
No,
Let's wait for
he's been
it.
arrested.
He rang me up, right, yeah?
Stop now. Tell us about it later.
I'm the victim. I'm here with these silly things on.
Listen. Wait.
The Specials try to calm the man and encourage him to wait until he's being interviewed at the police station to give his version of events.
If they want to start blabbing and they want me to start taking notes now, that's not my priority. My priority right there and then is contain the situation, contain them, and make sure they don't get away from me, they don't cause me or anyone else or themselves any other harm.
A car arrives to take the two suspects to custody, where they're searched again and booked in. Their clothes are also taken.
I take it you're going to want to seize his clothing for evidential reasons?
I've seen the whole spectrum in custody. I've seen people crying, I've seen people wet themselves, and I have seen people try and actually pull a weapon or go for the sergeant, and I've seen the panic alarm pushed. I've seen everything in custody so far, and it's, you know, it never ceases to amaze me, really. Everyone's different, every situation's different.
Thankfully, the suspect who was agitated and swearing has now calmed down.
What's wrong with that?
I was going to say, you could start a trend. Colours, fetching.
I don't know, but these supposed to be small.
I'm not sure really a size in particular.
I think that they're your size.
No, he says.
After taking statements from all sides, it was decided there was insufficient evidence and the case was dropped.
You can't treat everyone as a criminal. You can't treat everyone as a scumbag because, you know, we meet people who are unpleasant, we arrest people all the time, but you have to treat everyone with respect.
Every second of Harvey and Andrew's shift has been volunteered free of charge. And tonight's incident proves the Specials aren't just an important part of our police force, they're essential.
We're needed. There are a lot of people who I hear say things like, oh, well, you know, do we really need volunteers in this day and age? Just get more regular officers on the streets. And there's an element to that. But at the same time, on a Friday night, sometimes when we go out, we'll double the ranks of officers who are out on the street. And I don't believe you would get that if you didn't have the volunteers, you didn't have the specials. Someone has to do it. Why not us?
Specials are unpaid volunteers who work alone or alongside the regular police to fight crime in their communities.
You got all of them!
Don't want to see you walking on the main road again.
Come on.
Recovery's obviously en route.
Specials are not police community support officers. They're fully fledged members of the police force who have the same powers in law as their paid colleagues, including the power of arrest.
Stop it!
Move over.
No, 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 no!
Move out of the way.
No.
Within many special constabularies, officers can rise through the ranks, from constable all the way to chief specials officer.
Ouch, I found a thorn. Let me remind you, you're under arrest and everything you say will be written down.
Specials work 16 hours a month or more as volunteers and undertake all kinds of duties, from policing community events to arresting hardened criminals. "8:30 on a cold winter's morning. Special Inspector Gary Cowling is working with the Impact Team, a plainclothes unit who focus on tracking down known criminals.
The Impact Team in Peterborough is based around following and monitoring people they know commit crime. They're constantly looking for people that they know that are wanted.
Gary is crewed up with regular officer PC Craig Trevor, and today they are after a burglar who was stolen from commercial premises over the Christmas period. Officers investigating the case have found DNA evidence, blood left on a bike at the scene of the burglary.
Something like DNA is great evidence. Because of the way it's unique, it's impossible to say it's somebody else's, and it's a good part for the start of any investigation.
The Impact Team are a plainclothes unit. They have a list of the suspected burglars' known associates and their addresses. Today's search is a process of elimination, visiting each address looking for clues.
We first went to see a person at a location in an area of Peterborough where this male isn't allowed to go into. We did believe the male may have been there. When we got there, PC Trevor went to the front door. I went round the back to make sure if he was there he didn't escape over the back.
The officers are hoping the suspect is staying with a friend at this house. They know someone is in, but they're not sure if it's the man they're after.
Because it's not his registered address, our powers of entry are very limited. The bedroom that he should be sleeping in, the window's definitely open, so there's going to be someone in there. So we just have to see what reaction we get when Craig knocks on the front door.
Gary waits for signs of movement, while Craig investigates inside.
In a situation like that, in a way, you're hoping the male will come that way. Everybody likes to get the arrest. Everybody likes to deal with the person you're after. So that would, an ideal situation for me would have been for the male to come out of a back window or a back door. I would have then got the arrest. I could have then dealt with it.
Yeah, that back bedroom window's open, but I've not seen any movement at all. I don't know what you've got at the front.
Over the radio, Craig confirms the suspect is not at the address.
Yes, we'll come around.
But someone who knows him is.
We told the person that it would be better if he handed himself in. We explained that it could be dealt with a lot more quickly. We also did make it clear as well we had a whole team working on finding this male and that we wouldn't stop until we had found him.
We've got a few more addresses where he might be, so we carry on looking.
One address down and no arrest. For his day job, Gary is the manager of his local supermarket.
My day-to-day job, it's about customer service and about leading a team of staff.
That's £2.38, please.
He became a special 9 years ago, when his boss became a regular officer and persuaded him to volunteer.
I saw at the time that it would give me better prospects at work. I wanted to become higher up in the management chain, and I knew that joining as a special would improve my people skills, my management skills and my leadership skills. When I signed up to join, I was interviewed. I was still at that unsure stage whether I'd like it or not. As soon as I started to do the training, I realised that it had become a passion straight away.
Juggling his day job, volunteering and home life with fiancée Hayley is a real challenge for Gary, and one which is about to get a lot harder.
Myself and Hayley are expecting a baby, which is now due in just over 4 weeks' time. It's a really exciting time. It's our first child for both of us. However, it will have an impact on my specialling duties.
It is nice to think that what he does and what his colleagues do will long-term make our community a safer place, and obviously bringing a baby into that community, that's ideal for what we really want.
It will be more difficult because I'll be balancing a job, a specialling, a partner and a child. So I've got an extra element in there to balance, but I don't intend to give it up. It's a really important part of my life, and I just hope I can find a way to balance it all properly.
Back on the trail of the burglar, Gary and Craig have had a possible breakthrough.
My colleagues spotted a car that's known to the impact team for something that transports people going around burglaring during the day.
The team are hoping to catch the suspect in the car, which is parked near the address of a known associate. Parking around the corner means they can sit covertly and cover one exit route. They're waiting for backup to cover the other.
I've got it covered from one angle, but I think it's going to be driving out somebody that's wanted in a few minutes.
But it's too late. The car has gone.
He's got to have done a U-turn, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got to have gone out that way.
Gary and the team decide to knock at the associate's address. There's no answer. Another address down, but no suspect. And this time he might have slipped through their fingers. But the team aren't giving up, and back on the road, their diligence pays off.
Yeah, OK, I'll get him to spin the car around.
As they receive new information of the suspect's possible whereabouts.
We'll be there in 30 seconds.
After we got that information, we went to the address, what we'd been given. Myself and PC Trevor went to the front. Other officers covered rear access and rear exits to the house. We made sure the suspect wouldn't escape. Colleagues from the impact team were all positioned on roads nearby, and some was near the back garden, so we could observe the back garden, see if we can escape through the back door.
There's someone in there, because I think they're kids. Police officers, get your mum to open the door.
Hello, it's the police. Can you come to the door, please?
It was concerning at this time that the door wasn't being answered. We knew they knew we were the police. We knew this male was probably inside, and we did believe at this point that he would try and escape through some way, and that's why the delay was being caused.
Hello, I can see people moving. I need you to come to the door. It's the police.
Yeah, can you come open the door, please?
My house and the person that owns it is asleep.
That's OK, but can you come open the door, please?
When the female said she wasn't able to open the door for what was pathetic excuses, it was obvious to that point the male we were looking for, or at least someone that was wanted by the police, was in the address, and she was just making excuses, hoping that we'd go away or give them enough time to escape.
We just need to talk to you. You don't need to particularly come in, but you just need to come down and open the door.
Police, no issues with the people that live here. We just need to talk.
Then another police officer witnessed males leave the back of the house, one of them being the male that we were after.
I'll go around with him.
He then jumped over 2 or 3 fences in order to get to him quickly. And he was compliant and he was quickly arrested.
The impact team have arrested their man.
An arrest attempt like this shows how invaluable specials are to Cambridgeshire Constabulary. I was an extra body that day. I could cover a different exit. I was an extra set of eyes. So operations like this do work better if they can get specials on board and if they can get extra people in their teams.
Today's operation makes a change from Gary's usual weekend city centre shifts.
That job that day was an excellent job. It was one of the better ones I've ever been involved in. The male that we were looking for is a high-profile criminal, basically, in Peterborough, causes Cambridgeshire Constabulary and the people of Peterborough a huge amount of problems. So it was a great shift, it was a great day, and it was really good that we got this man into custody in the end.
The man was charged with burglary and theft and was found to have breached a restraining order. He pleaded guilty in court and was given a 6-month suspended sentence. Special Constable Susan Burberry is on the road with PC James Carradine. At 21, she's already been volunteering for 2 years.
Yeah, if you want to make a complaint against him, you can do that.
But feels she still has a lot to learn.
I see the regular officers and other specials who've been doing it a bit longer with a bit more experience, who do an absolutely brilliant job and they know exactly what to do. You can see that I've improved a lot since starting, but you know, there's always improvement to be had, you can always get better, so I think just motivation from the people around me, the other officers.
Susan is a chemistry student.
I'm mixing dry ice and acetone, and it's minus 78 degrees.
She volunteers with the Specials during her break from university. At home, Susan is the eldest of 4 siblings and has a close relationship with her grandma, Frida.
Yeah. I've lived with my grandma since I was about 2 years old, so she's always been around, and she was a primary school teacher, so she's strict, but she makes things fun, and yeah, she's brilliant.
Those look good. She always says she enjoys her job very much. How on earth she enjoys her job, I've no idea. When I was that age, I certainly wouldn't have wanted to do that at all. But we need people like Susan, don't we?
This evening, Susan and regular officer PC James Carradine have received a call about a shoplifter at a local supermarket.
There are a lot of calls for shoplifting offences. There's no such thing as a typical shoplifter. You've got people of all ages, both genders, all races. They're all doing it for their own reasons. Sometimes they'll just take a small amount of stuff, sometimes they'll take loads.
The Specials arrive at the supermarket. They speak to security staff who have detained the shoplifter in the room next door.
And what's the value of the items in the room bag?
£296.50.
Have a look at it.
The woman paid for some groceries, but attempted to steal around £300 worth of whiskey.
I was very surprised at the amount that she'd taken because she wasn't known to the police.
The security guard also tells the officers the woman has admitted to her crime.
She's admitted to everything to you, did she? All right. Super.
Shoplifters are usually repeat offenders. It's a compulsion, but they tend to do it repeatedly. I think it's quite hard to get people to break the cycle of shoplifting.
The officers don't know if this shoplifter has offended before.
Hello. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
You know why we're here, don't you?
She's almost 70 years old.
I'd never come across a shoplifter before who was a pensioner. I was surprised. She was very small. She was obviously elderly. So security here says that you've just admitted everything to them. You did take the items, didn't you? You did conceal them, and then you left the store with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel embarrassed and shameful.
I did feel sorry for her in some ways because she seemed very embarrassed that she'd done it. She seemed very sorry.
She might have admitted it, but the officers try to find out if there's a motive for the crime.
One of the big questions I'm going to have is why? Is there something else that's caused you to do this? That's what I'm concerned about. Why did it happen?
I don't know.
Don't know.
Because you paid for the other things, but decided not to pay for some of it. So was that because you didn't have enough money to pay?
I don't know. I wish I had paid instead of getting myself into trouble.
She told us she didn't know why she'd stolen the goods. Obviously, we weren't getting the whole picture, and she wasn't really giving satisfactory answers.
Have you got anything previous with the police at all?
No.
Nothing ever?
No.
How are you feeling right now?
I'm fine.
Feeling fine? Okay. Let me do a few checks.
Yeah.
We'll pop out there with my colleague and have a quick chat.
Yeah.
And then we'll come in here, we'll say what's going to happen next, okay?
Right. Okay.
Give us a few minutes.
Right.
James and Susan have discretion about how they deal with the case. Their options include giving a caution or arresting the woman. It's not an easy decision.
She surely can't not be arrested when she's taken that much.
It might be. If she's got a history, we might be able to do something here, possibly.
Yeah.
It's just taking someone that age into custody. We've got to justify that.
Yeah.
If we can do something here, if these guys are happy with that, then I'd rather do that than take her into custody.
Yeah.
It could be she'd be there for a good few hours.
I initially wanted to arrest her, It seemed very unlikely that someone's first shoplifting offence would involve that much stock.
With £300 of goods to consider, including a large quantity of whiskey, James phones his shift sergeant to get advice.
The main concern was because she was, I think, nearly 70 years old. We didn't want to take her to custody and put her in a cell and find that there were some serious medical complications.
Sergeant's more than happy to do even on a jail portion.
Okay.
So we'll speak to these guys, see what they want, and we'll go from there.
Fair enough, yeah.
I don't think it's proportionate to arrest though, it's just not conviction.
They need to weigh up their options. As a representative of the supermarket, the opinion of the security guard will play a factor.
What do you guys want out of this, taking into account her age and the way she's acted since you stopped her?
Yeah, of course she'll be.
Yeah? Super, okay.
After taking everything into consideration, Susan and James come to a decision.
What we want to do is issue with a caution today. So this would be a form of a criminal record. You don't have to accept it, but if you didn't, we would have to look to go to police station and do some more there. So I think this is probably in your best interest too.
It was a difficult decision to not arrest her, but I think what we did in the end, the simple caution, was definitely the best option, considering her age.
You clearly know that what you did was wrong today, and I have a feeling it's just one of those one-off crazy moments that hopefully won't happen again. I'm pleased we've dealt with it in this way. I think it's probably the best way to deal with it, isn't it, for you?
Yeah, I'm very sorry what I did.
Yeah.
I'm very embarrassed anyway for you to come to talk to me.
It is what it is, isn't it?
Arresting certainly is not the only option, even in situations when so much property has been taken.
Thank you, cheers.
I think pretty much every job does teach you something as a special, so you're always coming across new types of jobs, new experiences. The fact that I see people around me, my colleagues, just doing a great job motivates me to be a better special.